Everybody, welcome to the Roundtable Podcast number 3. I will be your host today, TwoBob29. Because this is a side server that we are on, thank you to Merrick's Gaming that we are going to be hopefully hosting this podcast here on out on this server. We have a different order of people this time around. I'll still be your host, TwoBob29. But we're going to have people introduce themselves from the top down that are part of the podcast today, starting with Kenny.
Hey guys, it's Danger Kenny B, coming to you live and in charge. I don't really have a sexy intro today. Sorry about that.
So this is Broken 963. I am the advocate for the spending ban, clearly. Um, Other than that, no special intro. Move on to the next person and don't shame me.
All right. Merrick's here, also known as Cable. Probably a few other names also known as that we don't need to get into. But yeah, welcome to the show, guys.
And I'm regular Reggie, currently in Grim. No first time listener. First time talker, long time listener.
Glad to have you here as your first time, Reg. All right, so we're gonna just start right off bat and talk about the feud mishap. I think that's a good place to start. There was in the milestones the skill plate and the earthquake gear, but it seems like they're making up for that in the showdown that's coming up in about 2 hours, and the upcoming feud as well for the shards. Um,
You only need Acro Steamboat to max the event.
um, I kind of wanted to gauge everyone's idea of the return of the gear and the return of the skill plate in the milestones again for the feud. It being a feud solo milestone event that actually was worthwhile versus the regular, like we had spoken about previously, I think 500 diamonds or something stupid. And then obviously the mishap behind it. Um, I don't really want to start with my own 2 cents because it's not just 2 cents. I'm not a huge fan of what happened, but if anyone has anything to start off with, please feel free.
Well, it was definitely super disappointing because I dropped a couple mil in coins um, for the perks, and I was actually in a good shape in terms of like the characters I had. And the first few feuds were going great, and then the feud over started piling up after everyone. I would have easily maxed it, so it's kind of irritating to have to go back and re-earn that with something I was already set to do. And yeah, I don't know. You'd think after doing this for 3 years they would have that nailed down at this point. But anyway, it's not like I wouldn't try and max a showdown event, so I guess it works out the same. But man, I was in good shape for that feud. It was kind of rare that I had a really good lineup that could max the event pretty quick.
Yep.
For me, yeah, like Kenny, I dropped like 5 million coins for the perks, and I was extremely pissed that I wasted those coins for basically an hour of my life that I'll never get back. Uh, but I was one of the lucky few that finished in that top 200, so I ended up getting the gear and the skill plate already, and I also got that 290. So that 290 actually helped me already get them. So I already have earthquake as we speak. So
Nice.
See, that's crazy to me. Yeah, I'm way behind.
yeah,
See, I was the other shoe in this category. I was the one who was clearly in the top 200. I think I was like between rank 50 and 80. And they announced they were going to close everything down. I was like, all right, whatever. Go fishing with my kid. So we went clam digging, flounder gigging. And I come back to find out that not only did they royally botch that, but I was ranked 202. So I was beyond livid come Monday morning, spent the better part of several hours arguing with Scopely for them to tell me I'm wrong. And using health packs wasn't an exploit in any way, shape, or form. even though the event should have been taken down at the same time the feud was. But what can I say? I'm wrong, but hey, if you open up that chest and you get zombie rock out of it, that's an exploit. So it's hard to tell what is and isn't a bound you should cross. They told us Kurt Angle being in those milk trucks or whatever, the bag, that whole mishap, that wasn't an exploit. People just happened to be on at the right time. So it's hard to tell what is and isn't anymore. But if you get first time rewards for a second time, you're probably going to get suspended for it. We've all learned that.
Well, you can't even tell if making a purchase now is an exploit according to Scopely. Oh, sorry, that deal was too good.
Hey, yeah, you should have known better. Give me back my. But needless to say, finishing 202 put a real sour taste in my mouth. You're gonna have people. Their defense was, well, in the Showdown event, you're going to be able to get the gear again. The gear's not what bothers me because whoever got the gear already gets it again. That's just going to be more useless coat hangers for them. What bothers me personally is the fact that now people who abuse the health pack thing, now they're going to get a second skill plate. So, to me, I think that's an unfair advantage, but I mean, all the power to him. I don't begrudge anybody who finished in the top 200. I just felt that it should have been extended to 500 or 1,000.
For me, it was definitely frustrating, the feud portion of it. I bought perks. I do want to say this style of feud though is much much better. It actually has people caring about it, where there are milestones that are worthwhile. So if we take out the fact that it was not playable or barely playable, the milestones are much better, and at least they're trying to figure out a way to make feud worth feuding again. So I purchased perks like everyone else or most people. Um, I had a really good rows and lineup set for that one too, because I was able to get Champa from doing the Showdown previously, and I had leveled him up actually. I usually never level the same month superstar up. Mine's sitting at 4-star silver max, so he was ready to do some serious feuding with that line bonus and stuff. So that was really frustrating. I was at when they announced that the event was over. I was at 157th place, and you could still keep feuding. So I decided to keep trying. Where you're trying to click through the thing as fast as you can and get back into another match. So I kept trying, and in the last 30 minutes, I dropped to 227th. And then, of course, actually, it wasn't quite 227. I dropped, and then the feud quit ending, and then I dropped a bunch more because I didn't feel like using health packs for that. So that was kind of frustrating. As for what they've since done to try to make up for it, I do agree with Broken that it should have probably went to 500 or 1,000, because if we look at Sasha, there are at least, I think, 1,000 people that max that. On the flip side, Showdown, the milestones where the stuff looks like it's at in Showdown is super easy to get. You don't even need to max both days to get either of them. So the time required versus the time required it would have been in Feud is very minimal. But that's the second one. Now, if you take the next Feud into effect, it's the third one. So the fact that you can get 3 skill plates or 2, in my case, in Broken's case, kind of outweighs to an extent someone having an unfair advantage for getting 3, because really I don't know if I have 3 guys that I would put the plate on right now anyway. So that's kind of my take. 2, yes, absolutely, Steamboat, but I don't have the strap for him. I would put him on Anderson probably. If I had Sid, I'd put him on him, but I don't have Sid.
Doesn't work on Anderson.
Are we sure it doesn't work on Anderson when he makes the rows?
He's not generating. He's not generating actual what do they call power gens? He's
Just solo
generating rows
gems.
of power.
He's generating rows. Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm assuming it's going to work the same way as um, your area guys, how you can't put Razor on King of Kings, Triple H, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I
Striker
wasn't
Sting
that
also.
excited about it.
Striker
And
Sting.
that's just an assumption. But Striker Sting, we were talking about it last time, going to be an absolute monster. Don't want to deal with him. And yeah, everybody and their mother has an NWO legendary strap or a Striker attitude. So
That's all true.
Yeah. The feud for me was pretty upsetting. Uh, I'm not gonna go into personal details, but I'm just upset for everybody that's across seas that didn't get just a hit in to get their 290 shards, because who knew that was gonna be the requirement, you know? If you told everybody, hey, feud is 4 hours, get one hit in, and you get 290 shards, or I mean, come on, how many people would have actually done it? A whole bunch more. But obviously, not everybody knew this was going on. So I was kind of upset with
It's
that.
just fun.
Um,
It's funny how they handle their compensation compared to other games. Like, I know that Scopely owns Strike Force now, but Marvel Strike Force. But when I'll log in and they'll be like, "Oops, we're sorry, there was some technical issue. Here's a bunch of free stuff." Or um, like most recently, they had something that benefited some players and other players didn't get to get it. They screwed up, so instead they just gifted that screw up to all the players. You just logged in and you got the benefit for doing nothing.
no,
if
well,
I'm not mistaken, that's all part of the acquisition of Marvel Strike Force, that they wouldn't change this, that. But I mean, hey, look at Looney Tunes. They've owned Strike Force for what, 4 or 5 months now? And when they came out with Looney Tunes, everyone swore up and down it was the greatest game to hit the fucking store. And Scopely turned around and did what they do best, and they screwed it all up.
Yeah, I
Not
played Looney
not
Tunes when
surprising.
it first came out, and it was so easy to be free to play in that game for a long time. Then they did Scopely things, and I just like, you know what? I'm already playing another Scopely game. I'm getting screwed over. I'm not gonna play two. So I just uninstalled it. I was like, if I'm gonna get screwed over, I'm gonna do the one. The
it
I'm already been playing for it forever. So
it's just nuts to me that people that are across seas or in different time zones had to wake up, and there was nothing they woke up to in game. It's like they had to be on
yeah,
Discord, talk to their faction members or friends, and be like, "Hey, what happened?
yeah. So
Like what happened in
so I
Feud,
could
guys? You know, like
yeah.
that to me, that's just it's messed up." Um,
Yeah, so I currently live in Italy. So I actually woke up in the middle of the morning to start feuding, and I was just lucky I woke up because otherwise I would have been screwed like everybody else.
hmm
So
Yeah,
It's
that's the worst part, I
When the
think.
point was brought up, and I don't know how much I'm actually allowed to say, but when the point was brought up that the people overseas didn't get to play, it was basically stated, well, we are a North American based game, which
oh,
I understand, but that's not an
Yeah,
excuse in my book. But the other portion of
yikes.
it was, the other portion of it was you knew when it started, you could have been up, which I don't agree with. I'm not going to be asking people to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to play a freaking mobile game. But another thing was not everybody who got the rewards would have maxed out that event. And
Yeah,
I agree with it and I understand it. And that was part of, I guess, Scopely's decision on the compromise of it is, well, do we give everybody 290 even though 90% of them won't max this out and then just that's it? Or do we give everybody 100 shards even if they would have maxed it out and deal with the top percentage complaining that, oh, well, I would have maxed this out, sort of thing. So, in fairness, it is a balancing act that they have to do because they did give these 290 shards to people that otherwise would not have maxed it out. To me,
yeah,
if you're not going to max out that event, you weren't getting Earthquake anyways. So, most of the people that got the 290 shards, it's just 290 shards. It's useless to them. But the people overseas that were going for Earthquake this month would have maxed out this event. They're the ones who got the shaft.
Yeah.
But I guess according to their math, that was a minority, just like the whole 200 skip turns, or sorry, not skip turns, the 200 people who got the gear and plate. They flat out told us, okay, well, we'll extend it to the top 500, but we'll take it out of Showdown next week. Is that a good compromise? We're like, you know what, whatever. This is a fight we're not going to win. So after 12 hours, we stopped it, and we let them do what they're going to do.
It's it's nonsense, is what it is. I mean, like you said, it is what it is. They have to do what they have to do. Um, I'm happy that everyone gets a shot in Showdown. I'm happy that everyone's getting a shot in the next feud. Um, and I mean, while we're on the topic of feud, I'm fine talking about the next feud lineup. If you guys are too, just kind of moving on. What do you guys
Yeah.
think about this? This is the choose feud. They finally decided to use up that choose feud from last Thanksgiving, where all the top factions got to pick the lineups and everything for the feud. So, what does everybody think about this crazy, random, out of nowhere lineup that's going on for this next feud next week?
To be honest, I haven't even looked at the feud yet.
Oh,
I know
okay.
I'll
Sorry. Here,
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
read it. I'll
Personally,
read it
I,
right
I
now.
haven't
yeah.
either.
I'll read it right now. It's a 4-star legendary powerhouse,
So
um,
Hogan.
and 4-star modern acrobat for the top lane, and it's +2 extra MP and +2 extra multiply gems. So obviously, like you said, Hogan.
Yeah.
Middle row
It's a
is new gen tech, NWO, and then Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame, by the way, also disclaimer, the two slots that were not picked by factions or anything like that in this feud, because there were two slots apparently, was Hall of Fame in this middle row, and the Mexico link in the bottom row, but I'll get to that in a second. So New Gen
Okay.
Tech NWO Hall of Fame for the middle row, 200% column break damage and row break damage. And then the bottom row is any modern era, any 4-star Showboat modern era, any Attitude era, and then the Mexico link. And your multiplied gems are getting +2 strength, and it's +200% bleed damage. So you can tell that the
Jesus
Showboat
Christ.
modern era slot, whoever picked that, is
It's
definitely
gonna
for
be
the
the
Fiend.
Fiend.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
mm, that's gonna
So
be gross.
so that
Well, if
the
I'm,
the issue
it,
in my opinion about this one is compared to the old requirements from the old feud, I think this is much more strict in this aspect. Um, I don't necessarily think everyone's gonna have a 4-star, legendary strapped Hogan in the top row. That's just that's just my outlook on that. Maybe some people have Warrior up there. A couple people will have Sheik. Um,
Yeah,
but
I have Warrior, so I'll use that. But
yeah,
Hogan's gonna be such a pain. He's already a pain as is, and now there's no MP down perk, so now you're just dealing with that shit first turn, unless you have a sub that neutralizes that shit.
or Scott Hall
So
in the
or
NWO
Scott
slot.
Hall, yeah, yeah,
If you want that,
God,
he gets +200% row break damage in the middle row. A lot of people
yeah.
got Scott Hall from
Wow.
this recent NWO event, so that would
I
be
was
good for them.
thinking, well, it's that you could do that too, or even if you have NWO Macho, use that black blue setup.
It's very good.
I'm going in small. I'm going to try and just probably only fill the bottom row, go in with 4, because if you pull one of those mega rosters that this feud is set up for, it's just going to be ugly. I mean, I have a almost 1.26 million roster, and I want no part of filling that up because I don't have Fiend, I don't have Hogan, I don't have Ray. So yeah, I'm just going to pick probably the bottom row, put 4 in there, and enjoy my life and not get not get hammered by all those big boys. So that's how I'm gonna attack this one. personally. I'm not nearly as excited about this one as the last one.
Now, the rough question that I have for everybody is, what if the event is saying that you have to use X, Y, and Z characters? Because there's going to be a feud event that there's going to have to be additional prizes in.
Well, for me, but since I'm in the minority, I already have them, so I'm just not gonna do it.
Yes,
So.
they already have an event. They already have an event plan. I don't know the details of it. However, the understanding is that the 290 shards missed from the last feud will be available to obtain in the next feud. And they were asking, well, is it going to be the same character requirements? And they were told no.
I mean,
So
it can't be.
I'm assuming Sid is going to be needed. Eddie's going to be needed.
That's the
Hall of
thing.
Fame.
There's no slot for Eddie.
Yeah.
There's no Eddie slot. Oh no, sorry, the Mexico link. The Mexico link. Sorry. That's the one slot.
Oh,
That's
sure,
the
yeah.
one slot they snuck in there. Okay. I was looking. I'm like,
You're
there's
talking
no,
about like
there's no trickster.
you
there's
talking about
no,
Trickster Eddie?
Yeah.
Trickster Eddie is
Yeah,
gonna be
probably.
needed.
Probably.
So, and I'm not saying this is a definite thing here.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. That would not shock me in the slightest.
another one that they're going to use, which is going to piss me off because I've been on this ball for a month and a half now. About the Hall of Fame. Everybody needs some sort of Hall of Fame character here shortly because it is required for everything.
Yeah.
And I dropped, I want to say 400. No, not 400. I spent 100 on Hall of Fame Eddie, and I got like 3 shards of his. I was like, yeah, that's enough of this. So, and this Bree Hall of Fame event coming out, that's not going to help anyone at all because, hey, if you happen to get her, guess what? You still can't feud with her, so.
Yeah, she is not good anyway. So, like, I can't justify spending $1,400 for a subpar character that Typhoon is clearly better than her, and he was free. So, I'm not doing it.
What do you?
Got a different genders, so can't really compare apples and oranges, even though they're of the same class.
Yeah, but I just
But
not a fan.
you can make the comparison. You can make the comparison that everybody has Paige, and Paige is infinite.
Yeah.
Everybody has Paige. That's exactly what I see. If you're talking about Hall of Fame Bree right now, that's exactly what I see out of her.
I think she'll be the login bonus next month, Paige.
She's been the login bonus every single month, man. Since
What?
Since December.
What? Oh yeah.
Breaking news right here on the podcast. Paige will be available next month, guaranteed.
Yeah,
We got
I'm surprised
you
they
guys.
haven't changed her. I'm surprised they haven't changed her by now. It's been 5 months of this, like you said. Yeah, it could be another free character, it's just not Paige.
Honestly, for new players joining, the fact that they did the MP trainers in there again and stuff was pretty great.
Yeah.
They should just, if
Yeah.
nothing else, cycle through the MP trainers as new people start playing again, although you can get them in keys and stuff too, but that wasn't a bad idea on their part, actually. But yeah, just having the same one every month's disappointing.
The intern who knew how to code that part is long gone. He's moved on to a better job.
But anybody?
So-
go on, Broken.
I think what you meant to say is the guy who did that part of the code has graduated elementary school and gone on to middle school, so he's no longer.
Can't pay him in juice boxes anymore.
So anybody want to talk about Sid? Anybody think that they missed on Sid? Didn't want to spend on Sid?
I definitely didn't want to spend on Sid. I couldn't justify it. So I couldn't justify that event because there was only a chance you could get him. So
Hold on. Are you meaning to tell me you do not need another attitude striker?
I do not need. No, I have a better one in Ted MDM, and I still have to level him, so I'm good.
So
I don't know. I think attitude strikers are kind of on the weak side. There's not many of them. I think you missed it.
Just no choice, man.
Now,
yeah,
had he been new gen, like I thought he was gonna be, then I might have considered it. But since he's another attitude striker, I was like, just a dime a dozen. There's like what 17 or 18 in the game, so yeah, I'm good.
he's a
It's
really good
ridiculous.
character. He's got
Yeah.
he's got a pretty cool kit. Looks like he would be really fun to play. I would love him on my roster, but that being said, even if I landed him on my roster, he's as good as a lot of attitude strikers, but like clearly better than. No, I mean, so we got? We got Hall, we got Nash, we got Shamrock, MDM, Sting, NWO Brett, and these are guys tons of people have, and I'm sure I missed
Yeah.
a few in there. With the plate, the boss plate, if you have that, Dude Love,
Mankind, oh, dude, love, yeah.
yep,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
Another
or,
attitude striker.
or even Austin 316 because he's got that choose yellow. Vince, I mean, there's like
Another
Anvil,
Yeah.
Anvil's decent.
another attitude striker.
Yep.
Pretty
They
much,
literally
yeah.
picked the best, most crowded class and era in the game because I would say top to bottom, Attitude Era Striker is easily the best class and era in the game, and they shoved him in there. He doesn't fill a need in my roster at all. He doesn't,
No.
and nor will he in most people's. But like you said, if he was new gen, name one good new gen striker. Go.
Boss
Rocky
man.
Maivia.
I was gonna say, I think the Rock is setting up there. We're gonna go down the John Cena route again here. I think you guys are really
The John
underestimating
Cena
Rocky.
route. The new gen striker John Cena, huh?
Wait,
So
are we
good
talking
you
about
can't
Striker
see him in the
Cena?
game.
My day has come.
What did I miss?
Yeah, I was just.
when did
I was
that
just-
come out? Is that a beta card?
Mhm.
It came out the
Striker
same time as
Cena?
the Dragon, Acro Dragon Steamboat came out
Striker
same time.
Cena.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at my roster and I can't see him. I can't see him.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
The problem is Striker Cena is only available to Town Hall mods.
Those bastards.
Oh, oh god.
It's
The
all
trolling in
free
this
characters
community
and
is
hand
great.
jobs in there.
I'm done, man.
Yeah. God, I love the trolls in this community, man. It's so funny to me.
Oh, yeah, man. So people are great.
Yeah.
I think they're just great, personally.
Yeah.
So we were briefly talking about it, but what do you guys actually think about? What does everybody think about Hall of Fame Bree? I want to get everybody's take on it. Not just her,
can I
but the
say-
actual contest itself. The fact that it actually says in brackets. I think this is the first time I've ever noticed it. That it says in brackets after the name of the contest, loot contest in just all caps. That is the first time I've ever seen that.
Needs more exclamation marks. Their blog is like just a unending string of exclamation marks.
Well, when we brought up the whole idea of having 4 spend events as the last 4 events, it was kind of ridiculous and stupid and this, that, and the other. So when they presented us with this event, they were like, okay, well, we're going to put this on the blog now. We're not giving you any advance notice because we're not changing it because this is going to be a pure spend event. And they were like, again? He goes, yes, no questions asked, it's posted. I was like, okay, whatever. You.
I imagine they will not get many sales in it. Bree's not a character very many people care about. To begin
I
only
with.
imagine there's a small niche of people who will care about having
About
a Hall
her
of Fame
coach.
The,
tag link with Lita.
yeah,
I mean, you're talking
Yeah.
a very small crowd.
Yeah.
Very, very small crowd. So
I-
Ed
They were-
Ed will have him.
Well, they will release a better female Hall of Fame, and I'll worry about that then. But I'm not spending on Brie. Just can't do it.
Oh yeah, not a dime. No, not at all.
Her extra gem, her extra one black gem is not worth it for me to just by spending $2,000. So
What a
I'll go
bargain.
for her only by me and the whole tag link for the Hall of Fame females. I'm gonna really need it with all the female Showdown events they're doing and everything. So might as well just drop.
Doing your
Oh,
part for the spending ban.
okay, wait, Broken. Did you just say you were not going to pull for Bree?
Yeah, I'm not gonna not pull for her because let me put it this way: if I'm not spending in this game, what's the point of even opening it? Because I don't do tours, I don't do events, I don't do anything. So
So then just
hell,
don't open it up
might
for
as
the
well.
weekend. That's it. Just don't open it up. That doesn't mean that you have to spend money.
No, it really is bad because I was on the game this morning. I was so pissed off at Eddie. I'm not going to go into detail on how much I chased for him. However, it was more than anybody should.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, all my Typhoon dailies done, everything that I can do in the Eddie, not even Eddie event, but the Eddie tours. I refuse to replay the tours. But I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh, there's nothing to do. Huh, what's in the store? And of course, my stupid ass tried for Eddie again this morning. But I got a 2-star silver Shelton Benjamin fuse, so I'm one up on
Hey, there you go.
Sweet.
Worth the money.
Just a few months too late on that one, but hey.
Gosh.
He's not new. I thought he just came.
Yes. Has a coach with his mama.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
My insides.
Look, do
Shelton
something else.
Shelton Benjamin's mama as a coach.
My insides hurt for you chasing Eddie. Broken. Anybody? Let's move on from that loot contest, which is the upcoming one, to the current one, which is the Viva La Raza Eddie event. Any takes on that one? Obviously, everybody knows where my take on it is. If you look at the leaderboards, you will see me. I am not necessarily proud of it, but I am happy that I got myself the card.
Yeah, so I think he is majorly slept on. I think he's gonna be like a Kofi technician, where everybody thought he was garbage at first, and then they'll actually get him and see somebody good play that plays the game, use Eddie, and realize how good he actually is, and then everybody's gonna want him afterwards. So that's my take. And I am 2 hours away from getting him because all I have to do now is do 2 showdown things with Latino Heat, and I have him at 3-star bronze. So
There you go.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I paid $600 for it, but no regrets. So I'll pay a little more for a guaranteed card than RNG any day. So
Yeah, that was my mentality about it, to be honest. It's just
Smart man.
everybody knows I'm practically the largest Eddie Mark in this community. I just that was the one card I couldn't not get.
which surprises me that you don't have Eddie Hall of Fame.
I
So,
can't, man. That's the one thing I won't do is those Hall of Fame loots are so awful.
Yeah.
That's the type of loot, man. You're gonna sit there and be like, $100, 2 shards. Nice.
Yeah.
I got all these bronze ingots that I can go to the store with. Like, what? Come on. Like, no, there's only so many of those that you could sit there doing. That's just like that. You're eating your insides out, man. There's no way.
Yeah.
Like, if I got lucky on the faction vault, sure, that would have been awesome. If they bring those back for something like that, that would have been amazing. But like,
Yeah. I don't think they did a faction vault for Eddie though.
oh
I think
no,
it
no,
was
you're
just the
right.
other
They
ones.
didn't. That was everybody else. Like, he was the fancy one that they gave a legendary strip
Yeah.
for. That's right.
Yeah.
So, my take on the Eddie event, it's too rich for my blood to guarantee myself Eddie, so I'm out there. I think if you have Acro Eddie, it's a pretty decent event in the sense that you can get a lot of coins and TP and some epic straps for free. So I think if you have Acro Eddie, it's a pretty solid event just because I think you can get like 4.5 million or so coin, and I want to say like 500 or 600 TP. You can get all the way to milestone 12 completely free, assuming you can do all the tours. So I think that's pretty great as far as a free event, bunch of resources. Now, if you don't have Eddie Acro, it's a pretty rough event. Not a lot for you to do. Assuming though there is a lot of shards for Eddie in the tours, as I recall, or maybe not a lot, but some. So hopefully, maybe you can get closer to recruiting him. Overall, as far as the fact Eddie's too spendy for I think most of the game, or a good chunk of it. So that part not so great. Maybe if he was about half the cost to guarantee him. But and I get what you guys are saying about him possibly being a sleeper, being good. He's a great looking card. I mean, tons of us love Eddie. I mean, who didn't like watching Eddie wrestle? So I get that. I think overall, as far as what I would classify as a spend event, there's a lot of good free stuff, assuming you have Acro Eddie. So they could do a lot worse as far as an event goes. You get a bunch of shards too along the way. So maybe later down the road, you can recruit him, even if you don't get him in this. So I would say I'm okay with it. Like if you're going to do a paid character event, but you're going to say, I'm going to give you 5 million coins for playing and not spending, I'm okay with it. But to all the people that don't have Eddie, Acro Eddie, I probably was just not talking to you, and I'm sorry there wasn't more for you to do.
This is a very,
I
very good
think
point.
Yeah.
you don't have Acro Eddie. I'd say that this is a decent event because it's not like Acro Eddie shards are just handed to everybody. There is the chance that you can get the fuzzy dice and maybe pull more shards of him or pull him himself. But overall, it does give a bunch of shards towards him. Doesn't mean you'll recruit him tomorrow. Absolutely not. However, he's becoming more available. Look
That's
at
true.
people like Elias. When was the last time they offered Elias shards? I've been sitting on the same 700 since his event. So it's going to be give and take. Either they're going to offer him again, or they're not going to offer him again for a while. And who knows? They might actually offer him in the Feud event milestone. I doubt it's just going to be Earthquake shards if they're going to do another. So
Yeah. Yeah, for me, my also reason I also like you, Bob. I love Eddie too. So, and then I feel like they're about to use a lot of content. He's gonna be a paywall for a lot of content coming up too. So I feel like,
100%.
yeah. So like, I might as well. You know what? I like the character. I think he's decent. He's a really good card. He's probably gonna be used for a lot of paywall content. Fuck it. I'll spend the money now. I'll save myself a lot more money later on in the future. In the future. So.
I mean, that's 1,000% true. I should also mention in the process of going for Eddie in this, I actually ended up getting enough shards to get the 4-star shard point for Ray at 4-star bronze. And I didn't have Ray before, so this is a brand new card for me and Ray also.
That's good.
And you got you got Ray and Eddie. That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, Ray was a monthly chase, but you know, everyone knows that they charge a shit ton and a half for Ray. But the fact that I could manage to get the both of them, it was nice in the long run.
The only reason I got Ray because I was in Grim and we got that Fusion Superstar, and that's the same one you chose, Big Kev, right, Bob?
The choose, yeah, that was the 3-star,
yeah.
The 3-star, right? 3 gold.
Yeah, the 3 gold, yeah.
Yeah, it was the genius that decided to choose Big Kev, and they decided to have a stupid NWO event right the next month afterwards. And I was like, oh yeah, let me watch. I'm not going to spend anything extra. Let me just do everything for free, and let me see if I get him. Got up to 700 shards on his 800 shard fuse point. I'm like, watch. The end of the month, I'm going to pull some stupid thing, and it's going to have 100 shards. They came out with the stupid-ass equal odds thing for $20 for that one pull for Scott Hall shards, Big Kev shards, and Macho shards. I'm like, you know what? I'll spend $20. Threw $20 at it, 100 Big Kev shards. I'm like, I just want to quit the game. Like, I want to quit the game right now. I'm like, why the hell did I waste my shoes on this stupid card? I could have got him this month. I could have had Elias. It took me like 6 months to get Elias. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid.
They do that to us all the time, man. I remember 1 month I used a coin on Rowan, and like the very next week, it was like, hey, here's an event where you can get 3 gold Rowan.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Because
I
so for that
mean,
that
in fairness,
Kofi Mr. T thing, that blitz that I did, I was so torn in between who I wanted to get, and then so I chose ended up choosing Mr. T, and then I was like, I look back now, I was like, bro, I should have took Kofi because Kofi is so much better than Mr. T in my opinion. No, but now I have Kofi. I pulled Kofi like a month or two ago, and I'm loving the card. So I just they make you instant regret everything. Like I regret taking the Volkov gear over the Kane gear too. That from that one time
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
yeah, that one's a heavy one for me too.
yeah. I'm gonna regret
Shout
that one for a long time, man.
want to give a shout out to the chat actually right now in Merrick's server, mentioning that Elias is actually in the DX vault now since the
Oh yeah,
update.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. He's at 4-star gold. I think he's the last tier, I believe.
it's crazy
So
though that they added him in there. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of lame that it took him so long to get that update for the vault. Um, but there's a lot of goodies in there now.
Yeah, I'm doing some calculations,
fairness,
and I'm only
though,
700 pulls away.
yeah, I was gonna say, realistically, the only downside is that he is in that vault at that specific tier. You're gonna have to clear everything out below it. You're talking a year's worth of stuff if you only did it for 6 months.
Mm,
So, yeah, you can have him, but you can have him in a year plus. There's no way you're gonna get him in 6 months. It's gonna take you a year to just unlock that tier. And then, I mean, for me personally, I think he being an MP coach is almost as he's almost as much of a necessity as an MP trainer. And they they gave Rikishi out like he's nothing. I mean, I believe he's 2 star now, and even the key pulls, if I'm not mistaken.
they're giving him
But
out like
they
hotcakes.
handled exactly. X Pac was given out like hotcakes. Uh, well, basically, all your MP coach guys are hotcakes. I mean, hell, you want the green and purple, you're gonna
Other
pay for them,
other than
but they're
Tiandre,
guaranteed.
Tiandre and Elias are not hotcakes.
Nope.
Yes and no. Yes and no. The DeAndre shards have been given out quite a bit. I've gotten well over 800 DeAndre shards through events between the Woken Mad event and this event and that event, but that's because I had DeAndre. So we all know in this game, once you get something, it's easier to get it again.
Correct.
So that might not be the case, but they have given out a lot of DeAndre shards. How many shards have they given out of Elias?
So I think with the DX vault, there's a couple ways of looking at it really. From like our size roster, it maybe doesn't make sense because we have like all the guys or pretty close to all the guys in it. I think looking at it, the only one I don't have of the new ones is Bree. But I remember when I had like a right around 450, 500K roster, I think maybe is when they first came out with the DX Vault. And Trick Rock was huge for me because he could red MP steal and he does good damage. And then Piper. I mean, Piper is a very, very good showboat and a bunch of other stuff in there along the way. All the every time I got coins out of there or tokens, they came in huge while I was building my roster, and it's guaranteed. So when you first start the game, megas are pretty good because if you hit them, you get somebody you need, right? And you get tokens. But then as you get to that middle point, maybe a low mid point where you're growing, I think the DX Vault actually can make some sense because it can help you grow your roster up to a certain point. And it's guaranteed and you know you're going to get it. Once you get to our size, uh, it's not nearly as attractive. But
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that. That's just kind of my take on it.
I think if you were just starting out, that is, and you were determined, I'm going to play this game, I'm going to try and catch up, I'm going to spend money, that is probably getting the 2DX subs would be the smartest way for a new to spend money. That is for sure. That's 100%.
All right. Let me ask this. How many people on that low end of the spectrum you're talking about, how many of them do you really think have kept up with the vault till now and have access to these other rewards now?
Oh, I just meant in general. Like if you were literally just starting out, the daily rewards and the characters you get from the DX subs. That if you are a new player and you are determined, yeah, I'm going to spend some cash on this. Those two subs are the best way to go. Even I'm just talking about the lower rewards. Even the characters that you can get down lower, the prizes, the resources, the tokens. Yeah, 100%, man. Not throwing them at useless loot pools. Where the first two you do are going to be amazing, and then after that it's just trash.
Yeah,
I
I
believe you
agree.
can still get Rhonda at the lower levels too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And that would be a hell of
True.
a starting female for most people that are starting the game out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ugh.
any
I'm
other?
kind of sore about the Rhonda thing though, because I was one of the people who like spent like when she first came out and she was like guaranteed shards every time. I
Hmm.
spent more than I wanted to on that, and I could have got it for free. That story of my life in this game,
Same people with the
man.
Charlotte, man. It was Rhonda and Charlotte were the
Yeah,
two pay to win
yeah,
females at the beginning of the game.
yeah,
And it wasn't even that Charlotte was
One
super
thing,
awesome, but that she was a showboat,
yeah,
so she got the buff against Ronda to hopefully make her better and good enough to beat her
yeah,
in the game.
yeah,
And yeah, that was how they started.
one thing
yeah.
you have to learn about this game. One thing about this game you have to learn, if you haven't realized it already. If you want it now, you have to pay, and you have to pay a lot. If
Yeah.
you wait 6 months, a year, you probably get it for free.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
that is one point of this game.
Yep. That's how I look at it. So, um, I try to really I've started budgeting myself on what I'll spend each month. And then that makes me really evaluate what I'm going to spend on months like this where there's not a lot that I wanted to buy. I might do instead of doing like a monthly, like paying monthly for say HBK or King of Kings or Shane. I might renew and do a 6 month and save the free month because didn't spend much. But that makes me look at it a little differently. So because you get those guys free later. So like if I'm within like $100 for a guy that's really good and my budget's 150 for the month, that's the budget I set personally, by the way. Um, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go for this guy. Drew is a perfect example. Um, I went because he's a great coach to me and an interesting guy and looks really fun to play. So then I'll go for it. Otherwise, I'll just be like, you know what, I can't get it right now. I'll hopefully get it 6 months down the road, and hopefully it won't be too much of a paywall behind events. That does worry me about Eddie. I think you guys are 100% right. I think he's going to be required in tons of events for the next 6 months.
That's just their way, man. That's just how you don't
yeah.
have to guess. That's just how they do things. It's the only way that they know to encourage people to spend because Lord knows they don't have any other ideas.
It's
No,
true
no,
though.
the idea floating around the wrestler who just passed away from Crime Time. I
Oh,
forget his name.
Shad
Shad.
Gaspard.
Yeah, Shad.
Yeah,
So some of the mods were actually talking to Jeff, asking him, "Hey, would it be possible? If you want to do something nice for his family, why don't you add him into the game? Even if you reskin an old shitty character, sell the card for $5, donate all that money to charity, and then or to his family, and then later on, you just market him how you market any other superstar. I mean, if he's a $5 card for a 1-star bronze, most people will get him regardless, just to have him.
Right.
yeah,
So,
and especially with the star fuses now, like I'll take a 1-star character
You
easy. I got plenty of one
do
star
you
tokens I haven't used in 6 years.
do you know what they could
So
actually do? They could literally just reskin Wade Barrett.
Yep.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
exactly
That
who
was
I thought of.
And
Like
he's a good trainer, so that's a
right
good
off
idea.
rip, someone that they don't use, a good trainer that they absolutely could bring back, someone that's not signed with them anymore. It's a powerhouse. It would make sense. You could reskin the moves to be with a big boot and this, that, and the other. It would be something that's worth it. And like you said, if it's $5, they already have Vader out there that does this. They already have like 3 trainers that do this, but none of them do it to 5 like this one does. So if you just gave everybody the option for $5 to get the trainer with 1 or 2 more red gems to destroy, I think that'd be an amazing idea. If you
Now,
No,
so
that's
reskin.
it's
a
not like Vader is still not exactly common. So,
No, but no, you're right.
but yeah, somebody will spend $5 because not everybody's got Vader.
You know
Yeah.
what? I like the idea too, like of helping helping his family out, and even if Scopely had to make money, Make it $10. I would buy it if I knew half was going to his family. I'd probably buy it for $10 anyway. Let's be real. I'm a Pokemon collector in this game. $10 for a new character. It doesn't matter how good he is. I'd pay it if I don't have it.
Exactly,
Same.
because no one
That
has access
guarantee.
to that card anymore.
But yeah, that'd be a great idea. Did they think about that at all, Broken? Like, is that a possibility they might do that? That's a cool idea, actually.
Oh, there's no chance of it happening. So it was just
Okay.
an idea we had spitball out there to try to help donation wise. Obviously, if you're playing this game, chances are pretty high you're a wrestling fan. I didn't watch wrestling during the era he was out, but I would still donate if that was the case because he did his part.
Right
It
on.
was a tragedy, and I'm sure a lot of people would donate because it was a tragedy, regardless if you're a wrestling fan or not, or were a huge Crime Time fan or not. And I think that's the
And
point.
he went out a hero too.
Yeah.
So like he saved his son for himself. So like
Well, yeah.
people are gonna respect that. So
It's unfortunate what happened, but
yeah.
but yeah, it would be cool if it happened. Unfortunately, it sounds like it won't. Um, not untypical. So so I think we should talk about Showdown last because it's about an hour until Showdown kickoff, and I want to get everybody's take on what they think is going to be going on for Showdown, who they're going to be running, what their perks look like, yada yada. But right now I kind of wanted to talk about the 5-star discussion a little bit more. More
Oh
theories
boy.
going out there about moves getting edited. Godfather's finisher move getting edited from, quote, the entire board to a 7x7. And then China's finisher move being edited from the center column to 1 plus, I think right now it's 3 from the leftmost columns or rightmost columns, something along those lines. So to me, that sounds like they're trying to make the board bigger. I'm not necessarily certain how much bigger. Maybe it's going to be an 8x8, maybe a 7x8. Some people are saying 7x8, 8x7. I think that's kind of silly if you did one or the other because that automatically makes row or column break guys better than the other. I don't really think that's fair to that
I
gameplay.
think I think I think that definitely makes blast gen guys much better too. If you think about it, most of your guys that choose a massive amount of blast gems, they go right down in a slant, and they always have one or two straggling off to the side because they don't have enough to put in that slant.
Correct.
However, you add one extra, that's more area for them to cover. So yes, column break, row break, blast gem. I think they will all. Anybody who makes a massive amount of gems, like Edge, when he does the submission, I think it's going to be better because now it's going to be harder to get through that sub and break all the gems. You're still making the same amount, and now they're spread out more. It's going to be harder. It's going to be much harder for anybody who makes random gems, obviously. Um, it's all math based.
Cross and X break gems too. Yeah, that Warrior gif Ben just posted in the chat about Warrior. He, more rows to break each way. Like an X break, you'd get what two and two. You're talking a bunch of extra gems, more possibilities for cascades. So yeah, anyone that's gonna do cross X break, that boss skill plate gets even better. Jeez, that
So now my follow-up question to this was I was just throwing out the potential of an 8x8 board. Um, I know it sounds maybe a little crazy, but what if they do a 9x9 board instead of an 8x8 board? Because they already have an odd amount. Now the issue I have with an 8x8 board already is it kind of makes a row break and a column break if you match 4 gems. It just makes it that much easier to get a premature pin. Because instead of having 7 gems plus 3, and you're 1 away from pinning, you're now 8 gems plus 3, and at that point you've already pinned somebody. So at
Correction,
an
sir.
8x8, oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say that the AI will be able to row break and pin you one away right every time. And then do 3 moves and still not pin you. And then be done. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, the AI will be fine.
Hey, T-Bob.
Yo.
Ben B just did a good call out. You'll need a new gem for 9x9, I think, to make it even amount of gems populating.
That would make sense. That would make sense if you needed a new gem. I mean, you currently have 7 gems populating with all 6 colors in the loot box. But
I think if they move to an 8x8, I think things are going to be fine. I don't think much is going to change in the game. Adding 1 gem here and there, I don't think is massive. Some of those characters really could use a buff anyway. So the only problem I see as an actual problem is going to be the end of match loot box reward. It's going to be so much harder to
to
get those end of
farm.
match loot boxes.
Oh man, it's going to be hard to farm. It's going to be hard to get all your loot boxes. Yeah, that's a massive point. Yeah, if you're moving from a 7x7, which is 49 gems right now, you're moving to an 8x8 is 64 gems. You're adding 15 gems. So that's, I
Yep.
mean, that's a lot of excess gems.
The random guys is going to hurt really bad because now at when they're making the random gems, a lot of them at 4-star gold get an extra buff, 1 more gem to the randomness. That'd definitely hurt them. But then you think about your choose guys now, and a lot of people like to connect the dots and do 5 matches. But if you start making rows, it's more room to make rows and columns, and you're even adding more damage there. I think it would definitely really, really change the landscape of which guys you might use and how you might play them.
I think what would be
But I
hilarious is somebody mentioned Woken Matt Hardy and that he's going to still cover the entire board.
One thing I will say though is I don't think if they are going to change the board, they're not doing it until they release 5 stars. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a flat out across the board thing. That gives them the opportunity to notch back some of these guys. Big Kev might lose a column break, something to that effect. I I'm pretty sure that they're going to be balancing this out. I mean, they've already balanced out China and Godfather, and they did a pretty good job with being able to balance it. And I don't think it's going to be 9, because if it was 9, I don't think they would have changed China. They specifically changed China to be the 4th column in. So I think we're going to see an 8x8 if we're going to see anything.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be funny. I think it's going to be funny when people go for a row break or a column break and they're like, all right, this is going to be good. I'm going to have them really close to being pinned. And then they get a stupid little 3-match cascade and then they accidentally premature pin them. I think it's going to be hilarious.
It's going to be hilarious until it happens to you.
Yeah,
And we're going to
exactly.
send in 16.
Yeah.
Let me just pour out one for all the turns that I've lost doing a wild card and not actually getting to do it. Just to how this game works. It's like, ooh, I'm just gonna grab this wild card match and then do my moves. Nah, it doesn't work.
So, I think the final thing that we're going to talk about here is yeah, I was actually going to just mention this if on the larger board, if they may adjust the pin bar as well.
I feel like you have to. At that point.
Because if they don't, then it's going to be row break, column break, 3-match, instantly pin. But if not, or if they do rather, then it leaves a lot up to question. I'm interested to see how they go with this. And the one other point I wanted to make is, do you think that this will be something that they have exclusive to 5 stars? That you have to be a 5-star character in order to fight on an 8x8 board? And that if you're a 4-star character, you won't? Or do you think they're changing
Are
the
they?
boards across the board?
How does that?
You think that? Yeah. How do
That
you?
have to change it across the because what if I'm fighting your 5-star with my 4-star? That would completely break it
True.
because the 5-star would have a massive advantage because he's used to fighting on an 8x8. Now he's moving down to a 7x7, and now you have your guy who's used to fighting on a 7x7 now fighting on an 8x8. If that's the way it goes, I think it needs to be universal all the way around here.
The thing that keeps going around in my head as soon as you say pin bar moving, you take NWO Ted and give him even more room to recycle. How many times you're going to get that off? Man, that's sounding really good to me right about now.
Yeah, man, those characters that don't move the pin bar are gonna be brutal.
Macho, Acro Macho, who I don't have, my
Yeah.
unicorn.
Yeah.
That would make Daniel Bryan infinitely better. I just want to
Which one? Hang on.
Damn it.
Which
My
one?
time has come.
the only good one, the really good one.
The tech.
Tech, Brian?
The tech. Right.
We do need a tech Daniel Bryan,
We
though.
really
It's kind of
do.
a shame that we don't have
Yeah.
Really do.
I honestly thought the Planet's champion would be a tech. Like I thought he was gonna be a tech.
Yep.
But
That was
It only-
the
it
seal
only-
version.
Maybe now that he's back to
That's
being
how
a
they
good guy.
do, and that's why.
yeah, the trickster. I thought Trickster was gonna be a tech. Yeah.
At least that one wasn't egregious. It made sense. That was his heel persona,
Yeah.
so it was fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Ugh.
I think the final thing is Showdown. Showdown's coming up in about, it looks like 50 minutes or so. So I hope everybody's ready for Showdown. Everybody go get ready. Set up your male, or male, female, because we still don't know. That was supposed to be something we were talking about. But I guess we're gonna talk about the toss-up. So if it is male, or male, female, what are you guys running?
Me, I'm a Kofi and a SmackDown partner all day. That's it. Game over.
Kofi don't care.
Kofi don't
Kofi
care.
don't
That's
care
it.
Kofi.
Yeah.
And now I got a strap on him, so he's even better now. So yeah, Showdown's easy for me. So
There you go. That's it. Kofi don't care.
yeah.
Cable?
Hall of Fame Booker and whoever makes sense to run with him, depending on who I'm against, I guess. Early on, it doesn't matter. I've got 2 Eddie matches to do because I only have Acro Eddie. So after that, it's dealer's choice.
Good point. So just a toss-up. I like that. Cable?
Yeah, everyone probably knows at this point if you've watched the podcast much at all. Dango is Bay. He is life. Dango is everything for me. He's my favorite card in the game because of his utility. So it'll be Fashion Police all the way if it's male. If it's not, it'll most likely be Dango and Steph because he loads her. Yes, Ben. Blah, blah, blah.
Giggity.
Incidentally, guys, you don't need Breeze for Dango to be amazing. If you're listening and you have Dango but you don't have Breeze, if you want a very good Showdown team, Dango loads anyone with double yellow. So Goldberg runs the Austin with his double yellow moves. They hit super, super hard. Pick someone with some yellow moves to load up and let Dango tag him in and let him blow the board up.
For the free-to-play player that also has Dango, you can also use Typhoon as a great tag team partner.
Absolutely.
Nice. He's on his way. Fandango's on his way up for me.
Works very, very well for the people that don't have anybody up there. Broken, are you even showdowning? Is that even a question I should ask instead of who you're running?
I'm at a crossroads. I maxed out Dango at 4-star bronze, and I really want to use him. I don't think I'll be able to use him until he's at least 4-star silver, and I'm lacking red TP, so I can't bring him up. But I might use him in the beginning just to get it through quicker. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to be using Z Austin or the Bludgeon Brothers.
Ooh, going for the old school throwback to the Bludgeon Brothers. I haven't heard that one in a while. And what if it's male female? Any decision on the female? Any care?
Kofi and
Yeah,
SmackDown. That's it.
if,
Hall of Fame
if it's
Booker
male
and
female,
Z Page, I guess.
if it's male female, probably one of two things will happen. Is it's going to either be Z Austin and Z Page, or I'm just going to close the game down and try again.
I gotcha.
That's
That's
game
fair.
over.
Cable, what about you?
Instead of doing Showdown, I think I'm just going to do some more Eddie.
Don't do that,
Do
please.
some more pulls.
Please don't. Please don't. You've already spent way too
You keep-
much.
Yeah, you can keep pulling, and you'll eventually get him because you'll get him at the final milestone. So you'll get there eventually.
Here's the screwed up part is I chose to spend on the gear loop,
Oh,
and that does not give me progress to the event. And since that doesn't, I'm still going to need to drop several $100 more, and that's just it's not happening.
yeah.
You say that right now, but
All right. So if Eddie's on my roster Monday, you know I'm a fucking.
I'm gonna check the leaderboards for you.
He draws the line at a second mortgage. That's it. That is it.
No more broken. Cable, male, female.
I would Dango and Steph.
Thank on Steph. I love that.
That's a good
Love the sound
combo.
of
I'm gonna
that.
have to do that.
I try to run Z Austin and Steph whenever there's a requirement for either one of them. I just love the combo of the two of them. If it's gonna be male, yeah, I'm gonna do the Eddie requirements obviously, but yeah, as Ben is already posting a GIF, knows I'll be using Tech Alistair Black, and probably just whoever the hell else. It doesn't really matter. It's kind of like a version of Hall of Fame Booker, and if it's male female, I'll actually swap to Hall of Fame Booker instead of Tech Black, and we'll give the male female run of Hall of Fame a go. I ended up getting Lita from the Faction Vault when that was still a thing, so I have Hall of Fame Booker and Lita as a tag team, and just got Lita up to 4-star bronze during one of these coin events. So she is finally up to 9K. Which is a nice little milestone for me. Can throw her on Drew for the extra gym now.
I should probably work on China at some point.
Yeah, now that now that we got those tokens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I this past talent up or 2 talents up ago last month when she was like the leaderboard thing. I used a lot of fuses and got her at 4-star silver, so I just got to skip all that token stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, I just cause I missed her on her event because I was like really resource poor that month. So I said, I don't really want to do this. So I used that month to stock up, and cause I knew she'd be offered again in some capacity. So I just waited for her to do that. I had a lot of fuses, so I just did it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And perks, if anyone wants to go into it, where do you guys have your Showdown perks?
I usually do the MP ones, like the MP down ones, and then the gym generation one. That's all you really need for me.
Those are the ones that matter.
Yeah.
I actually go super cheap with it. I don't even max MP down. I do it to 4. MP down 4. I don't get the last rank, and then that's the only perk I run. I try to do it as cheaply as possible. And Fashion Police lets me get by that way for cheap.
Yeah.
I
I do a gym generation one because like people like to nerf the gym generation, so I have to buy that to offset their stuff. So that's why.
I get it. The lucky thing with
Yeah.
Dango is his yellows in area, and then you're just throwing his prots down, protection gems down, and then Dango don't care. So
Yeah.
usually just try to get the MP perk where it doesn't cost me coin. So whichever one, like the first 2 that are just the universal turnbuckles, those are the ones I get. And then I equip that, and then I'm like, oh, look at that. That costs like hundreds of thousands of coins. That gets a middle finger, and I'm like, no. That's how I do my perks. And for anyone that is wondering, or is that's free to play out there, guess what? If you have a couple of turn 1 or turn 2 characters, doing it that way will make sure your opponent isn't turn 1 or turn 2, and you will tear them up. So trust me, it works. Even if you're free to play, you could just be like, look, there's 240 universal turnbuckles. Easy. I'm getting a little bit of points towards the solo event, and I don't got to spend any coin. Bang.
I think I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to go X-Pac and Rick Rude for this Showdown event.
X-Pac and Rick Rude. That's interesting. Any reason? You trying to be turn 1?
Oh yeah, it's turn 1, but
If no
even
one...
if it's not turn 1, be charged turn 2. No, that's the nice thing is I blow probably millions of coins over the weekend so that I don't have to fight MP down guys. That's what I do.
Yeah, but you realize that you're not going to be turn 2 if you're going up against somebody who has like minus MP3 or 4.
Yeah, no, I get that. I use coins to reset until I find somebody who doesn't have the perks.
That explains
Or
why you don't play Showdown so much. Okay.
Cost you a fortune.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more expensive to play and get the 6 million coins than it is to just...
So why don't you just buy the perks? Just buy the -2 perks that I was just talking about that don't cost coin.
Now you're shaming me for spending coin, and now you're gonna shame me for not spending coin.
Buy the 2 perks. The 2 perks. The 2 levels on the perk that don't cost coin like I do.
I think anybody who's been listening to this podcast realizes I don't like money, so I try to get rid of it as soon as I can. So it's gonna take the virtual money. I'm just gonna get rid of those coins because I don't.
The coins are lava. Get rid of them.
Oh, man.
Well, all right, guys. That was an interesting ending to our Showdown conversation. I want to say thank you to Merrick's Gaming, to Cable Guy, for letting us come on to the server and have this version of the podcast. I personally really like this version. I like the engagement with the fans here in the room. It was a whole lot of fun being able to do it live, to interact with you guys. You guys got a lot of good messages and points across. If you guys have anything that you want to say or ask right now, definitely please feel free while we're all still here. If there's any points that you want to like us to talk about or want to talk about or have direct questions, feel free to just type in the live chat right now. But I wanted to give a huge shout out to Merrick's Gaming for allowing us to hop on here onto the server and have this third podcast. Hopefully we can have a lot more here. It was a great time. Personally, I had a blast.
Yeah, me too. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
I didn't.
Appreciate it.
I didn't even realize we had a live chat going. So if you had said anything to me, I missed it, and I apologize. I will be more aware next time. But in closing statements, support Cable Guy. I mean, Rex, whatever you want to call him. Support him. Maybe we could get another content creator who is actually a good content creator. Not saying that the ones that we have now are bad. I really like Davey, really like Gerson. Big Papa Brian's an asshole, but I don't mind him personally. I don't watch anyone's videos, but I think we should give the guy the opportunity here to try to expand, and I think that would be really good for the community.
Oh, thanks, Broken. I appreciate that
Yeah,
a
we
lot.
want to see a local boy make good. That's for sure.
Yeah. Go on, Cable.
I was just gonna say, also, guys, feel free to use the server for suggestions in the podcast suggestions room. Maybe, if you want to see us do stuff, throw it in there. If you have any kind of suggestion for content, like if you like being in the room, if you want to, Bob, you can put a link to the server on the YouTube link if you want, because everyone's welcome to join the server. This is a factionless server. I don't care who you are. If you've been dumb in the past, just come here and don't be dumb. Everyone gets a chance. So the only real rules is don't be a dick, don't bring faction drama, and come in and have a good time, because that's kind of the goal. Love doing these podcasts with you guys. A lot of knowledge, a lot of fun. Super enjoy it. So I appreciate you doing it too, Bob, and bringing everyone in here.
Absolutely.
Well, Fish Can't Swim just said that there's no trolls allowed. I'm gonna see my way out now.
Throwing money over his shoulder as he goes.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you guys so very much for coming out. If there's anything that we missed, feel free, like Cable said, just talk to us in the live chat. We'll hang out for a little bit. Hope to see you guys all out there kicking some ass in Showdown in about 40 minutes. Apologies for this podcast being a little bit short compared to the other ones. I think it's still a pretty decent time between the hour and a half mark. And it kind of gave everybody enough time to be on before Showdown and still have enough time to prep for it. So hope we can keep a similar schedule like this moving forward, especially if Showdown is on Saturday instead of Fridays moving forward. It'll be great.